Change. If you look around, it's everywhere these days. Change can, at times, feel overwhelming. It can feel as if you can't deal with it well. But in reality, if you look carefully at some organizations, some corporations, some healthcare systems, you see there are alternative ways of handling it that are smart, that are challenging, and that are, believe it or not, even fun. I'm John Kotter. For over 20 years now, as a faculty member at Harvard, I've been studying change. I've learned that in over 70% of the cases where organizations needed to change, they either didn't try, they tried and failed, or they tried and succeeded, but at a level that was far less than their aspirations. I've also learned that some people have found a remarkably simple formula, simple in light of the complexities involved, that works remarkably well. Here I want to talk about a case of great failure, a case of great success, and most of all, what that remarkably simple formula is all about. I'm standing right now behind MIT. The Institute goes along the Charles River, right across from Boston. On the front side, it's really quite interesting and attractive. The big dome, Hayden Library. But when I first arrived here in 1964, this is kind of what the backside looked like. Cinder block and brick buildings that looked like they were pretty cheap. You've got empty parking lots, some weeds, chain link fences, and these incredible trailers that were left over from World War II that must have been thrown up very quickly to do research as a part of the war effort. Over the next 20 years, the trailers went away and you started to see more projects. First over in Kendall Square again, and then behind and right over here where I'm standing, a little front of me. And it began to look a little bit more like a modern world. Over the next 20 years, things began to change radically. All of a sudden, it didn't look like this. It looked more like this. Building after building has been put up that looks, to our taste, modern, taller, more exciting, more daring. Building after building, all the way down this street from the east end to the west end of MIT. We've even got a Gehry building, which, depending upon your taste, is either the product of a brilliant 21st century mind or something that was designed by a deeply deranged person. Now, I tell you this because the fundamental pattern we find here, which is a world moving, let us say, at 20 miles an hour for the first 2 decades after World War II, then speeding up to 40 miles an hour for a few decades, and then going to 80 and 100. That fundamental pattern is found everywhere, not just education, not just technical education, throughout industries, across continents. And that kind of swoosh upward is not going to change anytime in the near future. The notion that change is always with us or change kind of fluctuates, maybe that's true over a millennium. But in our lifetime, when we think ahead 1, 2, 5 years, we're on this kind of a curve, and it has huge implications. Because if you get the challenge of change right, the opportunities are unreal. And if you don't, if you go into denial, if you just don't want to deal with it, if you don't know how to deal with it, because nobody's shown you the simple formulas, life can be really bad.